Hi, welcome to JHFLYCO Fly Fishing 101, where we give you the tips and the tricks to get out on the water faster, catching bigger fish. Today we will be discussing some essential fly knots: the improved cinch, perfected loop, loop to loop, and the blood knot. All of these knots can be used in different scenarios while fly fishing, all very essential and very necessary. It's important to note that some of these knots are definitely more complex than others, but practice makes perfect, and the more you practice, the more you tie them, the better off they're going to end up. The structural integrity of a knot comes from how it's tied. Knots that are tied meticulously, slowly, and perfectly have much more strength and durability than knots that are tied quickly and carelessly. And what that means is if you hook into a 30-inch brown trout on a knot that's tied meticulously, chances are you'll land it and you'll be able to trust your knots, whereas if you have a knot that you don't trust that was tied carelessly and quickly, chances are you may break off that fish. So here are a couple knots that I feel will help you out on the river catch bigger fish quicker. The first and most important knot is the improved cinch knot. You'll use this knot to tie your leader or tippet to your dry fly, nymph, or streamer. Begin by threading the tag end of the line through the eye of the fly hook. Pull about 6 inches of line through and then double it back against itself. Now twist the tag end of the line around the leader 4 to 6 times. Next, bring the tag end of the line back through the first small loop behind the eye of the hook. And then once again back through the big loop you just created. Now wet the knot and pull on the line to tighten down the coils. Slide the knot tight against the eye of the hook and trim the tag end as close as you can to the coil. Give it a tug to make sure your knot's tight, and you have the improved cinch knot. The next knot is the perfected loop knot, which we will use to attach our leader to our fly line. First, form an overhand crossing loop, then around again to form another overhand crossing loop. The size of the second loop will determine the size of the finished knot. Now pull the tag end straight between the two loops. Reach in and pull the front smaller loop through, the back bigger loop. Tighten by pulling the end of the loop and the tag ends. You can use a pencil or your finger to tighten as well. Now trim the tag end close as the coils as you can, and you have a perfected loop. Once you have your 2 perfected loops, you can now create a loop-to-loop knot to join leaders to fly line, leaders to leader, or fly line to fly line. First, pass the loop on the fly line through the loop on the leader. Next, run the tag end of your leader through the perfected loop on the end of the leader. Now pull the tag end of the leader in opposite direction of the fly line until the loops slide together to form a connection that resembles a square knot. And that is a loop-to-loop knot. The last and final knot is the blood knot, used to tie fly line to fly line, leader to leader, or tippet to tippet. Take 2 pieces of leader or tippet material and cross them. Make a loop with 1 tag end. Now wrap the tag end around the other section of the line 4 to 6 times. Now take the tag end and bring it back through the small loop you created. Pull the knot down snug but not tight. Keeping the coils in line, tighten the knot down, snug but not tight. Now, repeat the process on the other line in the opposite direction. Make a loop, wrap your tag around 4 to 6 times, and then bring your tag end back through the small loop you had created. Pull the knot down snug, keeping the coils in line not to flip over themselves. Once you have your 2 halves, pull both ends of the line to pull the knot tight. You can use your fingers to adjust the coils in the line. Give the tag ends a nice tug, and that will tighten down the knot permanently. Once your knot is tight, you can take your nippers and trim the tag ends. And there you have a blood knot. At the very least, learning these 4 knots will greatly enhance your fly fishing experience. Keep in mind, taking your time and tying your knots slowly and carefully will greatly enhance the strength and integrity of your knots. And just like everything, practice makes perfect.